Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Ultra hardware number 59015R1. This is a solid brass door protector, they call this. You might call it a door reinforcer. You might call it a U-shaped wraparound door reinforcer. Wraparound plate, sometimes people will call it. I'm just trying to remove it from the packaging without destroying the packaging too much. The manufacturer states that this is brass, and the important thing about door reinforcers is that you get the dimensional properties correct before ordering. And what I mean by that is, well, that's nice. They have that completely wrapped in film, which is new. So that surface you see is a peel-away protective film covering that brass material. That's excellent. That's an excellent fit and finish on that as well. First time I'm seeing that on one of these. Okay, good. Good way to start off a review of a product, being impressed. This is certainly, well, they state that it's solid brass. I can tell you it's not magnetic, and it does look like it's brass from the, just the general color of the material on the unfinished side. So, as I was saying about the importance of matching up the dimensions, before you order this, you're going to need to make sure that the width, the height, the thickness, the diameter of the hole, and its backset are all compatible with what you'd like to do. So this they have as 4.5 inch. It's closer to about 4 3/8. Sorry, it's 4 1/4 is what they call it. Okay, by 4.5. This is going to be for an 1 3/4 thick door. This is going to be at 2 3/4 backset. So the edge of the door to the center of the hole is 2 3/4. And you're going to see that that dimension is a bit heavy on here because you're going to lose the thickness of the material itself and the space that you're going to need to get it down to the door. The bottom line is that dimension needs to be greater because it hangs off ever so slightly more. So be mindful of that. And then the final dimension is that you've got a 2 1/8 inch hole. Okay, so this would work great, obviously, for a tubular or a cylindrical lock, something that you're going to be certainly encountering when it comes to residential or some commercial locks. This is really intended for residential, where the edge of this is going to go over your latch bolt. Now that double D type of preparation that you see here is going to be appropriate really for a deadbolt, because that's generally the shape of a deadbolt prep. But of course a latch bolt's going to work. And the reason they put it that way is so that you can run either piece of hardware through that sort of opening. So your latch is going to be installed in the edge of the door. The 2 screws that are here are going to go through your latch into the door. And what they give us, because you might, not realize it just yet, but they give you a couple of nuts with those combination wood machine thread screws, those 832 combo screws. The reason they do that is, well, what if the edge of your door is busted to the point where there's nothing to run those screws into? So what you could do is take those combo screws, take those nuts, bolt your latch bolt to this piece, the whole gizmo goes on, now you're ready to rock and roll. So what I do when I install these is I first dry fit the item. I stick it on and I see how my door works, and then I will mitigate. Sometimes it's a real hassle to get them to work. Not a hassle, it's not a hassle. Sometimes there's just more labor involved to get this to fit nicely. Other times it's like, wow, it's super smooth because you might have a heavy gap between the edge of the door and the strike jamb. This material is going to take up some space. Okay, so you're going to need to account for getting that on there. Occasionally what I've had to do is literally chisel back the edge of the door so I can get this pulled back flush as much as possible. I've even gone so far as to open the door up to 90 degree, get a couple of wedges, and then run my pony bar clamp over it to get it brought down onto the door and hold it in place, while I then pre-drill and attach my screws. Then I'll run in at a very small angle to serve as a way to draw it back ever so slightly. You don't want to draw it back too far on one side, but you want it to be nice and tightly fit on the door. And it all starts with a proper dry fit. Just see what it looks like and then mitigate from there. Okay. I do have to again. I'm tickled with this. This is the first time I'm seeing a PVC coated protected solid brass surface. They do weigh about a half of a pound, something in that range. The balance of those screws will give you the 4 to install the plate down to the door, as we just kind of alluded to. Okay, there is a link below this video to the menu. So before we wrap this up, where are you going to use this? People generally never use it in new installations. People generally don't say, yeah, I'm going to put a door in, and you know what, I want that wraparound plate right now. Although it has happened. I've had one customer I recall said, you know, I'm doing 12 doors. I know they're going to get busted. I know that they're going to get, you know, people are going to attempt to break in. I want them to all have the door reinforcers. Or they've said, I've had to put door reinforcers on these doors over here. The new doors I'm doing need to just match, even though I don't need them, so sell them to me in that regard. But they're generally used when mitigating a problem, when replacing the door is not an option. Even if it's an inexpensive door, this could be very likely a homeowner type project. Hammer, chisel, drill bit, screwdrivers properly fitting, experience not required, patience required, I'd say, to make it work nice. But you could have a door from 1920, literally. It may not be 1 3/4. The point being, you might have a door that's difficult to replace or costly to replace, or you may not have a carpenter that you can draw on to rehang a new door. So a lot of people will say, gosh, I really don't want that on my door, but it's better than having to replace the door outright. So that's where these really reside in the greater universe of doors and hardware. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Ultra products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I am reasonably partial to Ultra hardware. I like their people. They're generally a very well-oiled machine. Actually, now that I think of it, there's one particular gentleman there who is exceptional when it comes to responding to questions that cannot be answered using the catalog. And he is upper management, to say the least. So I appreciate his efforts because, you know, the client might say, hey, what are those little circles for? And maybe I know that answer, but there might be something about this that I need to talk to the manufacturer, and his efforts tell me that they're more than just an import company. They're more than just bringing in container loads of Asian manufactured hardware. By the way, those semicircles permit you to install a lock set down onto a door. All tubular locks, all cylindrical locks, basically will have two tangs, little triangles, at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position. When you tighten that down on the wood door, those two little tangs are meant to press into the face of your wood door to help just resist rotation. If you've got a steel door, steel doors will literally have those two semicircles. If you did not have those in this preparation, you would find your lock would only go so far, and you'd either have to create those little dimples at 3 and 9 o'clock, or you'd have to grind them off the lock altogether. So that's why those are there. There is a link below this video to the installation instructions, which are the back side of this packaging. That link below this video as well to the manufacturer's page will allow you to review not only all of the Ultra products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the product catalog. And here are those installation instructions. The correct fit is essential, and that's where my dry fit comes in. And you can review that. Or pause this video and review it. That would certainly work as well. Nothing on there. There's nothing to really expand on there, so I won't beleaguer this video any further with duplicating what I've already said. My name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders. Any questions on the Ultra 59015R1 door reinforcer or any other Ultra product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.